Good afternoon, Scott Redler, T3 Live. Welcome to today's recap. It is Tuesday, so first day of this shortened week with a lot of events still in front of us. Market started off strong, and then within the first, I think, 10 minutes, market faded lower. And then the computers started playing their games somewhere around 11:30, where they wanted to push the spiders down a little bit, but then the XLE stopped going down with oil. You had some high beta names strong, whether it was Apple, whether it was Baba, whether it was Netflix, even though that had has earnings coming out. Facebook came to life. So there was like a little few different divergences trying to tell you what to do around 11:30. At least telling you maybe not to just short the spiders down there. And then all of a sudden, spiders lifted. All the stocks that showed relative strength made new highs on the day, and then that was really, your day trade. At this point, we're still, I would say, not out of the woods if you're a bull, and I still think that if you're a short, you're probably a tiny bit worried as support held again, and tech led a little bit. The bios are at 2014 highs or 15 highs. I'm sorry, that's we're a different year. So showing some appetite for risk, and we still have a few days until the ECB on Thursday. So, if you're taking trades, great. If you're trying to swing some things, it's a little more difficult. You look at the chart here of the SPX, you will see, here's this lower end of the range. This was that wedge type formation where it started to break below this area, but what did it do? It held this support. That's why on Friday we got long little spiders and some names for a red dog reversal. And then today, I don't think you could, get much out of it except for, close back near the highs of the session, and still has some room to go a little further, whether it's 2034 or whether it's a little bit even 2045. You don't know where it could stop into this range, so you got to just know what you want to do here. The Qs real quickly showed a little bit more relative strength. You had your red dog reversal here also on Friday. It cleared Friday's high and closed relatively well. Does it mean tech is back to highs? No, it means that you have this descending little channel here. It still has a little bit more room before the bears need to make a stand, and at this point, a decent day and a half trade if you stayed with it. The IBBs, right at highs, closed at 2014 highs, still hugging that 821 day with a little wishy-washiness, which makes some sense considering at this time it looked like the market was going to fall apart. Definitely not an easy short and not easy long either, because with the leadership so narrow, you wouldn't expect that this could continue, but it has. And if you're trading those names, we went over in the morning call. They did pretty well. Went over Celgene. What did that do? Almost at highs. Went over Guild, for a potential buy spot. Nice little move here. Said the same thing with BAIB. Where is that? Through the range. So if you're looking for momentum, the bios, which are never that easy to trade because they're loose, they're wide, that's been the pent-up area. For high beta tech, for the first time, you did have some relative strength. So we'll see what it leads to. Netflix, when I walked in here, was up 45 points. It was up 15, so it's up another 30. So maybe that helps, get a little appetite for risk in that group. Baba, just to show you real quickly, you can't say much here still. Every time it perks up at the bottom end of the range, it fails. This is when it was clean up till this 140. I guess you could draw a trend here, which it has room to. You could draw a more, lower trend, and I guess it still has room to there. So this gave you a small red dog reversal on Friday, showed relative strength all day. Perhaps it wants to see this 102.50-ish area before before it decides what does it want to do with this trend. Does it get rejected, or what does it want to do with this trend? Does it get rejected? So at this point, still some room there. Apple, which was long overnight for me, that I went long towards the end of the day again. It's still in this range. Okay, you want to extend this further. It's still held a tiny bit higher. Has a little bit of room. Closed a little bit above that 108.75. So I guess that's good. And maybe there's some room to 109 and change, 109.80. It's still in this descending channel. Hasn't decided what it wants to do yet. But at this point, if you're short there, you buy here or buy back. I hate playing these kind of ranges, but it's a little bit more prudent, I guess, to buy into support and then sell into strength until something changes. Let me see real quickly where Netflix is as we speak. So if you want to come to me, I'll check my iPhone 6, which I love. The battery is so much better, and the clarity and just everything on it is so much better. They would have never made the 6 Plus. Nobody would ever even talked about it. Netflix I have up 44 at $393.26. So let's go to Netflix. Netflix perked up, which was kind of cute. That they came for it 2 days before, and here is this this spot right here. Okay, this is what is that? 352. Oh wow, it's at it's at 392. So it's already taken back the 200-day, and it's actually in this gap. So big time move. Hopefully you don't take things short into earnings because you're getting your clock cleaned. And if you were trading along after hours, you had a little bit of time for it to potentially clear this, this pivot, which it did, and then perhaps this one, which was 384. In the chat room, we talked about this being pivot 1 for momentum, and this being pivot 2. And right now, I guess it's into this spot here, which I don't know if you should be buying it now up at this area, but you had some time in the first 30 minutes. Let's see what IBM's doing. IBM seemed like it missed on top line, but actually beat on top line, but missed on revenues. It's IBM. It's up $1 and change. So I think their margins were better, but they missed on revenues. It's the same story because they've been buying back their stock, but their business has been slowing. It's been nothing too exciting. You look here at IBM. It's up a little bit. This actually was one of my shorts from last year. It's doing nothing. I would it might not be a headwind overnight. We'll see what happens. Something that was interesting to me was that oil diverged. Okay, looks like it heading back to the bottom end of the range, but in the XLE, it went green and turned back higher. So maybe this does have a destiny with 76.50 or a little bit above. OH is also, curling higher into resistance. Could have fallen apart and didn't, so maybe it sees a little bit higher prices. The banks, really not much action. I said this morning that I think Morgan Stanley, you could buy that into the weakness. It was down 80 cents. Didn't make a new low. I don't think it's going to be a runaway hit, but it held, and I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. If it could clear this, I do think at some point you have a better trade up to here before you want to short. Bank of America, not much to really talk about here, except for it opened up on the Goldman Sachs upgrade and failed. Maybe it takes some time. If you're still in it from the Red Dog reversal on Friday at 15.15, you're still fine. Give it some time, see what's next there. What else were people looking at today? Gold. People were like, "Oh, Red Dog, do I buy gold today?" I was like, I wouldn't. You had this inverse head and shoulders pattern that we've talked about many times, and you have the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder broke above this neckline here. Remember when we went over it? You can look at it on Twitter. I posted the charts a few times. Now it's into that measured move. Some people are trying to time a short now. If it continues, you're going to be caught in a pain trade. But just because you take profits in it doesn't necessarily mean that that you have to be short here. But if you're doing it for overnight, be my guest. Not my trade. TLTs look like still trending, ready to make highs. Been above the 8-day now for almost a month or so. So if you trade stocks above the 8-day and 21-day or sectors or something like this, you're doing well. If you've been following it above the 8 and 21-day, also broke out here, has held it this entire time since almost late November. Great trend if you follow this. I myself have taken small little trades in it, but didn't really capitalize on it. But I don't know, it's telling you, it's still telling you that yields can go lower. You think about in Switzerland, I think you got to pay almost a basis point to put your money in the bank with 3/4 of one. In Germany, it's the same type of thing. So it feels as if, I guess, safety or people don't have to pay to put their money in U.S. banks yet. We'll see how that goes. And there's not much to say except for I know I was long a lot of things over the weekend for continuation to Friday's Red Dog reversal. It was definitely scary with the Shanghai down 7.7%. I was thinking, oh my goodness, what's going to go on here? But then Europe kind of decoupled and said, I don't care. ECB's coming and QE's coming. So that's now on 7-year highs. But I feel like it's going to rest going into Thursday. Our markets are still, 2% off the highs of this year, or 2% down this year, I think the S&P, and maybe 3% off highs, and things do feel a bit more broken than where the indices are, so it's been a head game on what to do. But if you keep taking trades, keep playing the ranges, keep trying to hit some singles, every now and then you'll get a double, and now that it's earnings season, who knows, maybe with Netflix, some things will loosen up, and in stock land, because in indice land there's been a lot of ranges to trade, and we hopefully we've been guiding you well through there. But in stock land, it's been hard to hold something for more than a day or two, especially in high beta. So let's take a look one more time where Netflix is before we go, because I got to catch the ferry. It is, let's see, IBM. Are you still up or are you down, you little dog? It's down now, the dog, down $1. Netflix is up 45, 394. So maybe that lights up the high beta area for us. You look at Netflix last time, I remember last May of last year, this is when high beta got back on its game. That was right here, okay, and that gave us a nice tradable month from May in. Remember that? Boom, boom, boom. And now all of a sudden, if we gap up and hold, you're going to see, some people might talk about an island bottom, but we'll see what the gap is tomorrow and how it holds, etc. Let's see, where's Apple after hours? Is it trading down with IBM or up with Netflix? What do you guys think? It is up 21 cents. We'll see what happens. So another day in the life. Hopefully you took some trades. Right now at this point, shorting into the support end of a range is not working. Buying into something that already bounced has been tricky as well. There's been action. There's been things to do. It hasn't been easy. It never is easy. Otherwise, everyone would be doing. Just keep staying planned, at least with your levels, because things move fast. And if you can move fast with them, you'll at least be planned and be ahead of the game. Have a great night. See you tomorrow morning.